Do you remember the Baba black sheep from our nursery rhymes? The Sir had 3 bags full of wool from the black sheep. One for the master and the other 2 for the dame and the little girl who lived down the lane. So, what is this wool that we heard about in the nursery rhyme? Does sheep give us wool? Well, wool is a type of fiber. What is a fiber? Fiber is a long strand of polymer which is linked with one another, either in a linear or in a crisscross fashion. Now, what is a polymer? Polymers are the long-chain macromolecules which are a repetitive joining of the monomers. What is a monomer? A monomer is a small chemical structure that can repetitively join with one another to form a long chain. Let us take many beads and make a necklace out of it. Beads, thus, here represent the monomers, and the necklace is the polymer. Depending on the source of availability, fibers are of 2 types: natural fiber and synthetic fiber. Natural fiber is the fiber that is obtained from nature, and synthetic fiber is the fiber that is obtained by synthesizing in the laboratory. Animal wool is an example of natural fiber. Thus, wool can be defined as the fiber of the animal origin that is suitable to be processed in the textile industry. In this regard, what is the textile industry? The textile industry is the industry that deals with yarn, cloth, and clothing. What is a yarn? Yarn is the continuous length of interlocked fibers. And fabric is woven or knitted from yarn. Thus, the yarn comes between fiber and fabric. Which are some of the animals that give us fiber? Well, the examples of wool-giving animals are sheep, Angora goats, Kashmir rabbits, yak. Especially the Angora and the fox varieties, camel and llama and alpaca. Llama and alpaca are domesticated South American camelid. The fiber, wool, is obtained from the hair on the body, excluding the head and legs, of the sheep. The wool is densest in the wither of the animal and scariest in the belly part. The hair on the body of the wool-giving animal is called fleece, while the hair on the body of the animal keeps it warm during the winter season. It feels hot during the summer season, and a haircut from the body of the wool-giving animal becomes a necessity. The process of cutting the fleece from the body of the wool-giving animal to obtain the wool is called shearing. Shearing frequency refers to the frequency of the removal of the wool from the body of the animal. While certain animals are sheared once or twice a year, the others are sheared after every few months. There are 2 parts of the hair. One is the coarse upper part, and the other is the fine inner part. Wool is obtained from the fine inner part of the hair. The animals who are 3 to 6 years old produce the maximum wool. After that, the production of wool by that animal becomes minimal. Before we learn the steps of obtaining wool, let us learn about the concept of selective breeding. What is selective breeding? Selective breeding is the process of selecting parents to incorporate certain characteristics in the offspring. Examples of such characteristics are finer inner hair, better immunity, etc. Let us now learn about the steps of obtaining the wool. The first step is called rearing and breeding. In this step, the wool-giving animal is taken care of. The animal is thus allowed to graze in the field and feed on grass. The other fodder which is given to the animal is oil cakes, jowar, pulses, corn. The next step is shearing. Thus, when the winter glides away, The fleece of the animal is removed by the process of shearing as already discussed. The next step is scarring. After its cutting, the fleece is soaked in the tank for removal of dirt and impurities. The next step is termed sorting. The hair obtained after cutting the fleece is of various textures. Sorting is, thus, the process of grouping the hair based on its texture. The soft fluffy hairs are called burrs. Thus, the burrs are further scarred and dried separately. They are then ready to be drawn into fibers. The next step is dyeing. The natural color of the sheep wool is black, brown, or white. But they are dyeable in various colors. Thus, dyeing is the process of coloring the fiber that is obtained from the body of the animal. Finally, the fibers are straightened, combed, rolled, and yarned into wool. So, this was a bit about the animal wool. Let us now summarize what we have learnt till now. Rearing and breeding. This is process in which sheep are allowed to graze in the field to feed on grass. The other foods given are oil cakes, pulses, corn, jowar. Selective breeding. The process of selecting parents for obtaining special characteristics in their offspring, such as soft underhair in sheep, etc. Shearing. The cutting of the fleece from the body of the sheep is called shearing. Scarring. The process of removing the dirt and the impurities by soaking in the tank is called scarring. Sorting. The process of grouping the hair based on its texture is called sorting. The soft fluffy ones called burrs are further scarred and dried and are ready to be drawn into fiber. Dyeing. The fibers are dyed with various colors. The natural color of sheep or goat fleece are black, brown or white. The fibers are straightened, combed, rolled, and yarned into wool. The longer fibers are woven into wool, and the smaller fibers are woven into woolen cloth.